Hi, welcome to the video, and today we are talking about Aptera, and I'm going to be giving you some updates regarding where to invest, how to invest. Spoiler alert, we can't invest in this new round yet, but there are some links where you can sign up to be informed. We'll also talk about some of the most commonly asked questions regarding Aptera with responses directly from the CEO regarding safety, design, and also some investing questions like when is Aptera actually going to go public? All of this info and more if you stay tuned. Here you can sign up to get some updates. This is just right off of their website, aptera.us. So put your name down here, and they also posted another link on their Facebook page right here. It's the Aptera investor interest list. You could also leave your address here and submit. I will be linking it all in the comment section below, so make sure to check that out. And we have some news from one of the co-founders himself, and this is straight off of their WeFunder. WeFunder is the platform in which they were raising money, at least in their initial rounds of investing. And here the CEO, Chris Anthony, actually says, we will hopefully be opening up a new round in March, April of this year. And please sign up at the bottom where I just mentioned, aptera.us, and follow their social media. One thing I do want to note here is that he actually mentions when he wants to go public. So here, this was in February 20th, about 3 weeks ago, he actually says we hope to be a public company in the next 18 months. So again, if you want to know when they actually go public, make sure you are signed up for updates. But without further ado, let's go over some questions that people are asking and see what Chris has to say about them. And I'll also give you some of my thoughts. But remember, this is all pretty early. A lot of the answers Chris gives is they are still in R&D. So we're not going to get definitive answers for everything, but it's nice to know where they stand. There's one thread I found right here that's really nice, and we're going to go over it. These are 10 different points that somebody called Arthur Anderson, who's an investor, has asked. Point number one, it's not really a question. He is asking or encouraging whether or not they can add a third seat. This investor wants a third seat because obviously 2 seats is not enough for most families. Here, Chris says that they actually had third seats in their original design, but it wasn't that popular, so we dropped the idea from current thinking. We can certainly add it back in. I think it's cool that he's open to it, but at the same time, I don't want him to be saying, oh, we can do that or we can do that in response to every question. But obviously, more seats give us more flexibility, but I don't want them to feel pressured to push it in if it doesn't make sense with their plan. Second question, you have recently mentioned CCS as the plug format. Basically, what's the plug format? And it's between CCS and CHAdeMO. And I did some quick research, and these are the two different types of plugs. Here we have CHAdeMO and CCS. It seems like CCS is the more popular format. It's the winner. And here Chris says, it does seem like CCS will be our path, but we haven't committed to anything as of now. It's a pattern. He's just saying where they're thinking. A lot of decisions have yet to be 100% made. Third question, the investor asks if they can show us more updates like the Rivian and Lucid YouTube channels. It'd just be cool to see Aptera, running a race and show off the performance and cornering. And here Chris replies, we will show our progress and as much of the Aptera in action as we can. We think people will be surprised by our size and utility. Yeah, so I mean, that's to come. It seems like they don't really have that much ready right now. There was another question that asked them if they could be featured on Jay Leno's Garage again. And if you Google or YouTube it, there's a really cool interview, or at least Jay Leno interviews Aptera and test drives their car. But this was from over 5 years ago. This was almost a decade ago. And that was a really cool showcase for the car. In the response, Chris actually says that, yeah, that'd be great to do, but they just don't have a prototype ready for that type of event right now. So still very early on. Question number 4, could you talk more about the center of gravity regarding Aptera? This investor notes that Tesla is about 5-6 inches off the ground, while Aptera is much higher at 9 inches. So does that mean it will be more unstable, or are there risks of rolling over? So Chris responds here, we have some center of gravity challenges with our air shape and need to be off the ground, but we overcome that with the strategic placement of weight and an overall lightweight structure. It also helps that we have motor weight all the way out on the wheels. In our previous iteration, stability was excellent and we did very well on the skid pad and other stability related tests. We expect to do better with our new version. Question number 5, because Aptera is so lightweight, if it's in a situation like on a bridge or high on the mountains and there's a lot of wind and maybe upward pressure, would a strong gust be able to actually blow the Aptera over? Chris responds, this is a complex question, but in general, they've done crosswind simulations and it accounts for any lift that the vehicle would experience from varying angles of wind direction. The Aptera does create a bit of downforce, but the main reason it does well in crosswinds is that there's very little flat area for the wind to push on. The rear wheel cover is really the only area to accumulate pressure. So they're doing tests, they're doing the best they can. Also, the design of their car means that a lot of the weight is on the floor because that's also where the battery is. So hopefully that can mitigate some directional pressures. Question number 6 is regarding inclement weather. Low weight could be a disadvantage on wintry roads or rain-filled roadways. Can you reassure us that these prototype tests will include these challenging conditions? Chris responds, for those who will see inclement weather, we will offer all-wheel drive with stability control and torque vectoring. This will keep your wheels well locked to any road condition. We have to do a lot of testing yet, but we feel confident we could have a solid offering for even the coldest climates like in Norway and Sweden. So of course he's going to reinsure us, but it's good to know that they're also offering all-wheel drives. Again, it's so early. I almost feel like Chris shouldn't be the one answering these questions because he is CEO. A lot of these, of course, need to be addressed at some point, but I'm glad that he's so transparent and that he's clearly thinking about them. Question number 7 is regarding the wheel pants and will they be removable or not? And the wheel pants are these covers that are over the wheels, I believe. And this question relates to, if there's a lot of snow or inclement weather, things could be trapped inside of the wheels and it's just, you might not want them on in all situations. So, can you take them off and is proper testing being done? And Chris responds, these hub motors were designed in Slovenia and have been winter tested thoroughly. They can forge water, snow, ice, mud, whatever, and they can be removed, but that would only be in extreme situations like you're caught in a rough. For any driving, we'd recommend keeping the covers on. We will offer an off-road option that gives you lower wheel covers and gives you more ground clearance. This may be useful in snow situations where you want to add studs or chains to your tires. So no, in general, you should not be removing them, but they will be giving you options in case you have to drive on a pretty edge case like off-road or really crazy situations. Number 8, this guy's getting super detailed. He's asking about whether or not there's parasite drag from rain droplets and bug guts, and will this affect Aptera's range? I think this is a little much. Chris responds, in lower speed situations, rain isn't a huge impact. They've done a lot of driving the rain, but they don't recall it being noticeable. We'll keep it on our list for review as we begin road testing again. I think this is actually a really good question, but I would be annoyed if I was Chris. But I'm not Chris, that's why I'm not a CEO. Let us worry about the really important things. Let's not get to the point where we're talking about bug guts or water droplets. Not just yet, not before we can roll out a good working prototype or have at least a couple people drive it yet. Let's focus on the main issues. Now, number 9, this actually is a very important question, and it's regarding insurance. A lot of insurance will likely treat this as a motorcycle as of right now, and some owners of another similar car like Polaris Slingshot have found that to be untrue. And then what happens if, there's damage on certain parts of the car, like if only a solar panel was damaged or certain wheels are damaged just because this car is something new? How is insurance going to work? And Chris responds, insurance always seems to be difficult, but we had a partnership with Progressive in the past and will seek to partner with some preferred providers that know our vehicles well. Our advanced safety focus will hopefully help us in that pursuit. The repair cost will vary depending on what is damaged, but we are building the Aptera in a very modular fashion, so in the event of an accident, you can order an easily replaced module instead of trying to rebuild things. We will also open up service and build docs so there is info for anyone in the world world to do the work for us. This way, people in remote locations can still enjoy Aptera, knowing they can get parts shipped in 24 hours if needed. The solar panel are all separate and easily replaceable. I love this answer, and I also know people in the club that give me secondary information, and they say that dealing with insurance, it's something that they are aware of, and they're trying their best to work with local governments and just making sure they understand the law to see what exactly they can classify this as, and also working on getting the tax incentives that a lot of other EV cars get. So they're painfully aware of this issue, and they're trying to get the best deal for people that invest and people that drive their cars. I really also like Aptera's right to repair mentality. They want you to be able to repair. It's basically the opposite of what Apple does, where you are completely beholden to them helping you out. You can't touch it. If you touch it, it voids your warranty, and basically they just want you to buy a new one. Aptera's way of doing this is whatever part breaks, we can swap that part out. You can swap that part out. Maybe not you if you don't have the engineering skills, but somebody who, works at a car shop, they can do it. They can just learn how to do it. They can order the parts. But this is great. This is really cool. Not everybody wants to be responsible for their own cars. But this way, if you want to tinker, if you like being able to repair things yourself, this is something Aptera does differently. And I think it's really cool. Question number 10 is regarding the windows and windshield. Are they going to cost a lot to repair? Chris says, the glass will be standard automotive and cost roughly the same to replace as other auto glass, though we prefer repair in most cases to save the production material and energy cost. So they'd rather repair. They don't want to just replace. Question number 11, and I touched about this earlier. Right now, there are no federal tax incentives for three-wheeled vehicles. And what's going on with that? Are we going to get some benefits? Chris responds, we're working on a federal quote unquote ultra efficient vehicle tax credit program now, but things seem gridlocked in Congress for now. Hopefully soon after election, we'll see some movement. So again, they're working on it. Final question is regarding right to repair. For the people that enjoy maintaining their own cars, what are their thoughts about those owners, and would they even provide tools for repair? Is there a special lift or jack? Chris responds, there will be lift points at each vehicle and 4 under the belly pan, and you can use regular floor jacks for any regular service needed, though we expect regular service intervals to be counted in years and not months. It didn't really directly answer the question, but basically it's nothing too complicated. You can lift it like any other car, but ideally you shouldn't be repairing it that much, right? He's saying you don't need to repair it every couple of months. It's going to be years if they've done what they think they've done right. So again, props to this guy, Arthur Anderson. I think he asked some really great questions. The only question I thought was a little bit much was that thing about raindrops and bugs. I think we can calm down a little bit. Now there's one more question I want to go over, and it's regarding safety. This is by Lester Irwin, also an investor. Are the doors going to be made out of the same composite material as the body? Are the seatbelt airbags going to protect the left side of the driver and the right side of the driver? Does your special material more often tend to shatter or deform? This guy's definitely done his research. Could you share some information? Chris Anthony responds, regarding the doors, they are likely going to be carbon fiber. Regarding the seatbelt airbags, Chris says we are still evaluating airbag options. So again, very early on, they're still testing everything. They don't have all the answers, and that's okay. Does their material tend to shatter or deform? Chris says it deforms without much elaboration regarding side impact safety strategy. Chris says side impact and roof crush will be a strong point for Aptera compared to other vehicles. We had the highest roof crush strength of any passenger car on the road, and the side impact protection showed very little deflection before passing the FMVSS tests. That's the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards test. Chris says there's also more room between the passenger's hip point and the outer shell of the door versus most cars. That, along with a very high rear lower door seal, really helps any side impact situations. This is really important. I know when I saw Aptera, the first thought I had was, this looks really cool. But number 2, is this actually safe? And if their roof is as strong as they say they are, that's a really promising sign. And I can kind of see that, especially if the base structure of the vehicle is molded from a handful of materials and there's just not that many, points where you have to glue or drill stuff together. I can see how it can be very, very strong. It seems like they're still trying different things, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think in this part of their development, they should be trying as many different things possible because you want to build the best car. And to build the best car, you have to be willing to try a lot of things out and see what breaks, what fails, what shatters, and then you find the things that don't break, that don't shatter, that have the highest safety standard. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Are you more or less excited about Aptera after hearing these updates? Are you going to invest? Remember, all of the links are in the description box, so go check them out and sign up. I also have a referral link where you can get $30 off your pre-order. It's usually $100, so $30 off is 30% off. That's a huge discount, and you could help support the channel as well. This is Green Knight Trading, where we talk about personal finance and find the best investment opportunities, so one day all of us poor squires can become rich, noble knights. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon.